please join me in welcoming JFox.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now wait a second, wait a second. How did this guy do? Not a single solitary note, not behind the death by podium box. Give him another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So let me find out exactly who you are. Don't you love that? That's where your heart starts to go, oh no, she's going to make me stand up and say what I do and give my elevator pitch. You're thinking that? Take a deep breath. You can all relax. All I'm going to do is ask you to stand up at certain points, but you don't have to say a peep. It'll be fun. I want to know which one of you go on a sales call all by yourself. Stand up. All right, sit down. Holy moly, that's everybody. Okay, I don't have to ask any more questions. I'm done here. How many of you work with a team when you go out to sell? Stand up. And you can stand up more than once because then you don't have to go to the gym. Sit down. All right, and now, how many of you get to sit behind your computer and use the phone to sell? That's deadly. Oh, I'm so sorry. We're going to get you a pass from that by the end of the day. So my job is to get you to really love presenting at your fullest potential. But what are you doing right now? What have you been doing since I've been standing up here? Shout it out. This is the way this works. I ask the question, you answer. Who said listening? What about anybody else? What else are you, yes? Watching. You're getting closer. Learning. I love you, Rosanna.
Thinking about where all this is going.
Yes, you're wondering what this wacko is doing up here waiting around. I don't blame you. I think that you all are playing Judge Judy. You are, don't lie. I sit in an audience and watch the speaker, and I've made up my mind in 10 seconds, haven't you? So can I really listen to that voice for 2 hours? Do I sound like some of your wives? Don't answer. Okay. What about this pace? She's going so fast. What about her posture? She's not even standing up straight yet. And does she have any presence? And most importantly, can I really learn anything from somebody with hair that color? I hope you can. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because your clients, when you walk in, are doing that to you from the get-go. They're asking these same questions. So that's why most people, when they are preparing for a presentation, especially to a large crowd, want to pull their hair out. Can anybody identify with that? This is my comfortability continuum. Any teachers in the room? I know that's not a word, but I like it, so I'm using it, okay? So this is my friend Sandra. She works at a building that you could probably hit a 9-iron to. Well, okay, a driver too. And she said, I can't speak at my annual meeting. I said, why? I get panicked. I'm going to have to get a drink. I'm having a drink before I go out there. You cannot have a drink before you go out there. Fine, I'll have a Valium. Even worse, you will slur your words. Well, we got her off this step, and she can just about tolerate it now. Who's somewhere in between that, on that staircase there? Anybody kind of stuck in there? We can get you out of there in a hurry, no problem. You volunteer at the end, we'll get you out of it today. Here's where I want you. I am exhilarated by doing this. I got to lead an elephant into Boston Square Garden, 16,000 people, no fear. Blow the whistle. Welcome to the circus on behalf of the ABC station. No fear. But you give me an Excel spreadsheet where I have to do a formula, and I'm telling you, I have a palpable stomachache. I get sick. I'm on the bottom rung. I'm panicked. I have to call my husband. In fact, I was at a place where I had to do those not long ago, and I had to have him do the formulas. I had to buy him a new TV for the bedroom because I couldn't do the formulas. So I understand fear, but I love the exhilaration of doing this. I already know who my smilers are. I already know who's laughed in the right places. I know who's still doing Judge Judy, but I'm going to look at the smilers over here. And so I'm getting energy off of you. So he's coaching a CEO. He is a CEO of the largest company of its kind in the lower 48, very prestigious in his industry. In fact, he's the 4th most influential man, according to a magazine in his industry. So he wanted to tell stories at his big annual conference. And I panicked because his stories never seemed to have an end. But we went to work on it. We worked very hard on it. And he was phenomenal. One story after other throughout the lines, the taglines at the end. He was powerful and motivating. So I say to him at the end, hey, how'd you do? How do you think you did? I did pretty well because all these people got in line and told me I did great. But how do you think you did with the audience? Did you feel their energy? Were they with you? Could you ride the wave of that energy? I guess I didn't pay too much attention to the audience, which is now why are we doing this? So I want you to pay very close attention. I want you to be exhilarated by what happens when you're up here. And guess what? The listeners will be exhilarated by you. What you bring them is what you get. I have a radical cure for anybody who's a little nervous about speaking. Anybody want to volunteer to get that fixed? Abby, you're smiling. Is that good enough as a... Oh, she flipped her hair like this. Come on up, Abby. It's painless, I promise. I will only make fun of you for a minute. Okay? All right. I need another volunteer. Somebody, come on up. What's your name? John. John, that's a brave man. Come right on up here. Do you know how, Ashley, do you know how to play the piano? Okay, this is a classical Dora piano. So you're going to be contemplating that for a minute.
Okay.
Now, Jonathan, I assume you don't know how to twirl a baton. It doesn't look like a drum major, right? Okay. So I'm going to start with him because he gets to be nervous the most. Scoot over here a little bit. We don't want you to kill anybody. And I'm standing back. You play golf?
I do.
Arnold
I
Palmer?
try.
Well, I got that too. Who just tries? So Arnold Palmer says you hold a golf club, so it's like a bird. It can't get out, but you're not killing it.
Yep.
All right, so the big ball goes under, the little ball goes out. The big ball, oh, he's going to be good. The big ball goes under, the little ball goes out. Holy moly, I've never had this happen. Okay, now, keep going. Wait, keep going. You're not finished yet. Your face hasn't turned red yet. Pick up that leg and stick the little ball under it. Little ball under it. Now grab it on this side. Now scoot it back here. Now do it again. No, big ball under. See, he can't do anything with his left hand. Okay. Well, never mind.
Whoa.
Okay.
Watch out.
Watch out. Okay. So how did he do? How did he do? Now you stand here for a minute. Now, Ashley's shaking, and I haven't even asked her to say one word. Okay. But isn't she drop dead gorgeous? Should she? Yes. Should she walk into this room and own this with her fullest potential? You got it. So here we go. Jingle bells. Yes, yes. Now, first of all, I want you both to take a bow, but don't go anywhere. Why did I make these two poor souls do this ridiculous thing? Tell me why. They are way out of their comfort zones. What else? What? They were focused on, yes, they had something fun to do, right? Wasn't that so much fun? Don't answer, okay? Now, what else? Why did I do this?
Made us laugh.
Well, you made you laugh. Thank you for the little chuckles. I did this because if you get invited to make a presentation or to speak to a group, they're asking you for what you know. They're asking you to bring who you are. They're not asking you to stand up and do something ridiculous. They're asking you because they want to hear what you have to say. So take a bow again, and you may sit down, and I want to show you why this is going to make some sense. I promise this is going to have a point. Here's why people get nervous. Because they stand in their speaker box. They come up here, they find, or even in a conference room at the end of the table where you're doing your PowerPoint, they stand in a little 2-foot square speaker box. I'm the speaker, and you're not. And I'm the speaker, and I'm nervous until I get started. What happens if you use a different concept? Everybody stand up for just a second. I promise this is going to be over soon, this standing up part. So stand in your speaker box. Does this feel familiar? This is where I stand to present. This is where I get a little nervous. And now take a step out of it and do this. Embrace your audience. They love you. They want you here. Did anybody, now I'm talking to a room with a lot of serious suits guys here, but did anybody feel the power from just standing here to, I love this audience. They want me here. I want to be here. So you may sit down and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby solemnly swear I will never stand in a speaker box again. I hereby solemnly swear I will never hide myself behind one of these again. That's a big one. And one more. I hereby solemnly swear that I will do a mind shift, a tiny tweak of a mind shift from I'm the speaker to I love this group. You have to grab your audience so fast. And I believe it's not only what you say, but how you say it. I'm also going to think that you come as an authentic person. There are people who, when they speak, they're talking like this to everybody in the hallway. Hello, I'd like to welcome all of you to our presentation today. So they put on speaker voice. Kind of like Ted Knight. Anybody remember him on the Whoa, good evening. Sort of like that. Haven't you heard it? Tell me. You have, right? I believe that you want to be your authentic self as a salesperson. So I'm not going to make you different. I'm just going to polish a few things. Just going to polish what you bring. I think you just need a few little tweaks. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Who buys the books for getting rich? And then you go, whale at the wallet. Anybody do that? Who buys the diet books? My daughter says I am queen of diet books. But what happens? We get all of this information. When you leave here today, the same thing is going to happen. What do you think happens? Who said nothing? Amen. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens. Question, my last example of a tweak. What's 200 calories, costs $2, and comes on a stick? Yes? Oh, how do you know what a cake pop is, Kelly? All right, Ann, will you do me a favor? Give Kelly a cake pop. Where do you buy cake pops? Who said Starbucks? The skinny girl says Starbucks. Here, you can have 2 cake pops, honey. You can eat both of them at the same time. All right? Here's the cake pop. It's from Starbucks. Have you seen the big apple fritters at Starbucks? The gooey crevices. I want one of those every time I walk in. Anybody lust for those when you walk in? Tom, I'm with you.
I use them all the time.
You're kidding. Then I don't like you anymore. How many of us go in and we want them, but we don't buy them because we don't want to be seen eating one of those things? Right here. What do you think happened to Starbucks pastry sales? Everything was too big. Nobody wanted to eat it anymore. Everything went down. Put 2 bites of cake on a stick. Charge us $2. We buy it. What do you think has happened to Starbucks pastry sales in the last 2 years? Off the charts. My point being, you tweak your speaking a little bit, you too can have the revenue of a Starbucks cake pop. Not exactly right, but you too can increase your revenue by closing more deals if you stretch yourself a little bit. So somebody said to me, why do you like coaching so much? I said, oh, people try something new. No, why do you like it? Why do you like it? And she kept pushing me, and I finally said, I just like to see their skin stretch. It's just this much, but I love to see it. She said, well, why don't you put out a sign that says taxidermist? So today, we're going to do some taxidermy. Here are the big tweaks. Here we go. What percentage would you give words, your word choice? 20%? Who's 8%? 7%? Get these guys some cake pops here, okay? And what about your voice tone? I get excited and mine gets high and screechy. I am so sorry, but I'm just excited. 40%. 40% for word choice? 15, 30. Who said 30? Anybody in here say 30, 30, 30? There's your risk taker right there. I get that every single time, 30, 30, 30. But she only said 30 for one. All right, now, what about body language? 60, 70? You guys are good. This is a good audience here. All right, 7% your word choice, 38% your voice tone, and 55 whopping percent for body language. Question: where do you spend all of your time preparing for your presentations? Words. Your words. Can you do the math? My granddaughter was 2 at this time. And I am at a big family birthday party. We even had some exes, you know, my ex-husband, my husband's ex-wife, because we all share grandkids. Very happy family here. And so I say to Caden, what did Cinderella say when she couldn't go to the ball? And I think Caden is going to say, oh no, like a little book that we read together. So could I be politically incorrect for a minute? It's only one word, okay. So what did Cinderella say when she couldn't go to the ball? Damn it. At which point I quickly say, where'd you learn that word? My daddy. Good, see, it's the other side of the family. But she knew right away. We knew right away, didn't we, when she did this? How did Cinderella feel by just knowing this? What? Defensive, mad. Caden could have said dagnabbit. She could have said sugar pups. She could have said, oh no. And we'd have gotten the idea that Cinderella didn't want to go to the ball. So look how much understanding got added by body language. And she's only 2. So your posture matters. Now I have my mother's back, and I fight this all the time. Just not necessarily keeping my shoulders back, but I like to try to say just lift. So everybody stand up just for one more time. I want you to give me your posture at rest. Mine's sort of like this, to tell you the truth. There's some collapse that happens in here. Okay, you've got it at rest? Now, just lift. My dad used to say, put your shoulders back, so this is what happens when you put your shoulders back, your head hangs over. So just lift everything a little bit. Now tell the truth. Do it again at rest. Lifting. What happened to you? What did you experience in that little tiny lift? Energy, yes. What else? Confidence. Look at it, it just happened. What else? You may sit down lifted, okay, and keep your energy going. And there's a bonus here too. You stand up straight, you lose 5 pounds. Just keep that in mind. Now, what do you think when I'm coaching somebody, what do you think their biggest complaint or biggest fear is? I don't know what to do with these, the dreaded hangers. So I have an answer. And I can't tell you how many people say this is the number one thing they learn. Who knows? All right, so give me a handshake. Now, oh, that's a very good handshake. She is from Capital Bank. She will take care of you based on this handshake. So everybody shake hands with somebody and make this little thing jam into the other person's little thing. You don't have to kill them, but just be firm. Shake hands with somebody. You feel it? Good handshake. But now watch. When you start to let it go, don't make me ring this bell up here. Okay, see, we have a good handshake. Let it go, and your hands just do this. They're not like this. They're not like this. They're just like the end of that handshake. Now watch this. I can say, thank you all for coming. I can say, you're terrific. Thank you. I really appreciate you today. I can say, and this is called the 3-step PowerPoint backup. 1, 2, 3, I can point to my PowerPoint. I can say, I'm so angry. I can say, oh, this is so warming. I can say anything I want, and my hands follow my words. If we're talking about an increase in their profits, if we're talking about how a client tanked, if we're talking about, give me something else that you might say in a presentation. Future. What? The future. The future. See how it works? Do I look crazy doing this? All right. I promised Lee Self I would only embarrass her a little. If you don't know her, you need to be. If you're a CEO and you're not in one of her groups, shame on you. Stand up. Now, turn around. Is she the most elegant creature you ever saw? Now stand still. Any of you know her? Yeah, isn't she sweet and elegant? Would she look right standing up here doing this? Would she say, come on up and twirl a baton? No, but Lee, stick your hands right here. She might speak like this today when she gets up to speak. She might speak like this. What happens if she just gave it this? Feel anything different? Just a little. Okay, give me a little. I'll take a little. Just stretch your skin a little bit. And when your words are meaning something, 55% of their retainability is based on a visual. And here's your visual. So everybody try it. Say, everybody. The future. The prophets went straight up. And they went down. And that's why we're here to take care of you. You got it? Hi, Johannes. You got it? Now, isn't that easy? I love that. You never have to worry about your hands again. And if you ever need notes, come see me. I'll show you how to make a keyword sheet. You put it right here. You walk over here. You do your speech. Do your little backward step. Take a quick glance. Go to the next point. Or you build a PowerPoint. I don't need an outline because I put it on the PowerPoint. All right? Eyeballs. What do you know about eye contact? What? It's very important. Has anybody ever told you how to do it? What have they told you about eye contact? Fake it. Fake it. Look at the back of the room. Imagine them in their underwear. I'm not doing that right now. And you look back. Look at a spot on the wall. Hover. Just look above their heads and they'll think you're looking at them. Does anybody feel connected to me when I hover? Who in here has felt me explicitly look at you? At least for a sentence. I try so hard. Now, y'all, when you sit on the back row, that's what you get. I'm sorry. But I'll make it up to you in the after networking. This is Angelina Jolie. I was at the grocery store and I see this magazine. And I think to myself, ooh, that's the most intense eye contact I've ever seen. Wow, how does she do that, I wonder? So I walk down to pay the cashier. I look back, and she's still looking at me. And I get all the way to pick up my bags, and guess what? She is still looking at me. I went back and I bought this magazine. And here's what I discovered. She has black eyeball dots. Do you see them? Your eyes are black as pitch, but I bet there's an eyeball dot in there. Yours too. But I've discovered that if I'm looking at your eyeball dots, I really see you. And guess what? When I'm looking at your eyeball dots and you're speaking, even I can remember what you said better. So I think it's really important to focus hard on this. And I think it's important that it's not just your eyes, because if I look at, is your name Corey? If I'm looking at you like this, what do I look like? What's the air I'm giving off? Mm-hmm. Not very interested. What else? I am so superior. What about this? I'm looking at you in the eye. Concerned maybe, but what else? Intimidated, shy. You know what y'all do with a person like that. You just beat them up. So don't go around acting intimidated. I like to think of eye contact as face-to-face contact. I want to put my face where my face is kind of matching where your face is, and I see your eyeball dots, your face. Let's talk about working the room. I'm kind of like, I've walked over here, haven't I? But have I walked over here with a purpose? Have I walked over here to talk to you for certain reasons? Cake pops. He loves the cake pops. And then I walk over here and talk, or I stand in the middle if I want to greet or talk to all of you. But I also get going a little fast for my own good and sometimes look like that twittering bumblebee. Here's the pacer. CEO, big speech, big stage like this, bigger. big spotlight in the middle. He starts in the spotlight, da-da-da-da-da. He walks 5 paces in his spotlight, 5 paces out of his key light, and you hear a big voice in the dark, 5 paces back in the dark, and then you hear 5 paces in the key light, and he keeps walking, and you see the profile, which is nice, and then 5 paces out of the key light over here, and 5 paces back. I was sitting with his CFO at the back of the room, and we were like this. And the voice in the dark would start and go. I didn't hear much of what he said. So there's a pacing that gets predictable, and you're fried. I once coached a guy, and he did the Evelyn Kloblotsky Dancing School box step. Just like this. Well, I was thinking that maybe it would be a great idea if we did, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So you don't want to pace in any pattern that somebody picks up and gets hypnotized by. Then there's the standing target like this. How effective would I be? How effective would I be like that? How effective would I be as the hider? That's my friend Sandra. I had to scrape her off the back. I said, could I touch you? I had to get her back off the wall and move her forward. She wanted to disappear herself. She hated this so much. So that doesn't much work. I like to think of it as a conductor. I'm saying, okay, piccolos, give it to me. I didn't mean to call you guys piccolos. Okay, timpanis, give it to me big. Let's hear the bass. Oh, the trombones, it's your turn. Lightly now. So I like to think of it as walking with a purpose, walking to talk to you, walking to make my point over here, walking backwards to point to my PowerPoint, and I try to do the walking on a transition statement. Listen to this. The next thing I want to talk about is stop, make your point looking at somebody's eyes. And then from here, what we want to do is go over stop, make your point. What if you have tables? You talk to this table. You talk for 3 or 4 sentences. You come over, you talk to this table. You lift to speak to the tables in the back. All little tweaks from just this. So that's how you work the room. And all of this, all of the things we've just talked about, starting with body language, make up your visual rhythm. I have an auditory rhythm, don't I? Da-da-da-da-da, whatever it is. But you also have a visual rhythm, even if you're sitting at a conference table to give your presentation. You have a visual rhythm if you're standing at this board, one of those things. So you have to pay attention to the visual rhythm as much as the auditory rhythm if you want to gain full retainability. I want you each to turn to your neighbor, and I want you to just answer this question. You get one line to answer this question to each other. You got who's going first? Okay. What did you do last night? Answer the question to your neighbor. Okay, switch. The other person, what did you do last night? Okay. All right. Fred, a few of these people needed detention afterwards, okay? So my question is, what was the first sound that you heard out of your mouth? Yes, some people might have said I, but I heard them everywhere. Honestly, did you see me going like this? I heard them on both sides of the room. Researchers say that if you use on a regular basis, the audience thinks you're less intelligent than you really are. They think that you are not prepared, and they think that you don't know your subject. Do we want anybody thinking that about us? I have a fix. Shut your mouth. If somebody's asking you a who, what, why, when, where question, think with your mouth closed like this. Because an can't come out if your mouth is closed. And can't come out if your mouth is closed. So ask me a question.
What did you do last night?
Oh, I got ready for this. Tried to find my other earring. But I had to think about it. So that CEO who did the pacing, I said to him, we need to fix this right away. So I need you to shut your mouth. I loved saying that. I want you to shut it, think, talk, talk, shut, talk. And I want you to go home tonight, and I want you to tell your wife, Linda. I want you to say, Linda, you know I'm working with Jan, and she says I have to start these ums. Rumor has it, she said, thank God. So I saw him a few days later walking into the office talking to his assistant. Hi, Deborah. You know, I'm working with Jan, and she says I have to stop my ums. And so I had to practice with Linda. I'm getting better. And Deborah burst into laughter. He doesn't see me coming down the hall. I burst into laughter. And I clapped. And I said, good for you. And I said, what do you think, Deborah? She said, he sounds like an idiot. He sounds like a man who's practicing to me. It's a man who wants to be a better communicator. He's practicing. It takes practice.